Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Divine Data. My name is Samantha Rose Paprin, and today I'm honored with the presence of my dear friend, Olivia. How are you today, Olivia?
I am doing so good. So excited to connect with you in this way.
Yes, I know. It's been a while. I haven't seen your beautiful face. I mean, since our yoga teacher training in Peru, what a difference. What, it's been 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years. Almost
3
exactly
years.
3 years.
Almost exactly 3 years. And we have come so far. You are working on some beautiful projects. You have your brand, Lilith, where you can find her. You can follow her on Instagram at the Lilith Brand. I'll include that in the episode's description. And she's just really become this budding, beautiful entrepreneur in the wellness and spiritual space. And I really want to dive into some of your practices that I've seen on the internet. First of all, I want to talk about womb steaming. Can we get into that a little bit?
Juicy. Yeah. Of course.
What is it? Tell me everything.
Yeah, so womb steaming, some people call it yoni steaming or vaginal steaming. I like to say womb because it encompasses the whole female anatomy, not just, one part. And what it is that technically you're sitting on a stool and underneath is steaming herbs. So you choose the herbs depending on the woman's symptoms, and the herbs enter the body along with the steam and essentially promote circulation and allow the herbs to do their healing thing. And I found that this is a very healing practice, not only physically, but spiritually and emotionally as well, because as women, we hold so much in our womb space, and having the herbs enter that area is really shakes up a lot. So it can be emotional as well as physically healing.
I was saying that I'm considering buying my own womb steaming stool. My friend's selling one. I just saw her put it on an Instagram story, and I found it so
nice.
synchronistic because she posted it today.
Cool.
And I was like, I'm getting on the phone with like my queen of womb steaming. You're the first person I actually ever like saw post about it. Like, I never knew what it was before.
Yeah.
So what are like
definitely budding.
What are like the top main reasons why someone should womb steam? A woman should womb steam.
Yeah, so for the physical reasons, it would be if you have menstrual cramps, endometriosis, fibroids, difficulty conceiving, ovarian cysts, really any physical issues that could be going on in that area. And emotionally and spiritually, if you've ever experienced sexual trauma, or if you're holding shame in that area, it can be very healing along those lines as well. So really, if you feel called to it, it can help in so many ways, and it's endless. Like, I'm always hearing of ways that it's helped women. So those are just a few.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that it's something that we need to be able to talk about and destigmatize. And I really love that you are, taking the reins and being a maverick in this in our times, because I know it's, I'm assuming it's an ancient practice.
Yes, it is.
So we're bringing this back, and we're remembering our roots, and we're going back into how we should be treating our bodies as temples and truly sacred beings. So it's integral. I love that I just jumped right into it. Like, maybe there's people who are watching this and they're like, oh, never mind, guys, get on.
Logging off.
Logging off now.
No, but it is so important, and especially now, I think so many people are kind of slaves to the medical health system, to the Western health system. And I started this journey because I had extreme pain during my cycle, and I was in Japan at the time, and I went to the gynecologist, and they told me nothing was wrong. And that infuriated me, because I'm like, you don't feel what I'm feeling. Like, this is not okay. Like, this I'm not going to take a drug for this and suppress whatever's going on that's asking me to look at. And so that's when I branched off and found womb steaming. And I think there are so many women suffering and they think it's normal when such a gentle practice can heal you. Yeah.
Totally. And it's so not known right now. I mean, it's gaining
Exactly.
momentum,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it doesn't have enough. And so I think that's like what really, like, you know, I love everything you're doing, but that is the one thing that really fuels my fire to like learn more about and understand.
Yes.
And I think that it's because of that shame that is like innately like built into our DNA as women.
Yeah.
That makes me want to advocate for stuff like that. And in order to advocate for it, I want to understand it and experience it and, you know, have you on here and to help advocate for it through that and send people to you to learn knowledge around it. Forgot to mention too, guys, she is in Japan currently. So it is 9 p.m. for me here in Texas, 11 a.m. for her there in Japan. I love that we're making this work. I love that you went and found this life there in Japan and found your love there in Japan. So beautiful to see you blossom through that and be able to curate and create this career online. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the Lilith brand?
Yeah, so Lilith, I got the name from the character who in the Bible, or maybe she's not included in the Bible, maybe. So Eve is included in the Bible, who is supposedly the first woman and human woman. And there's this character named Lilith who in stories was the first wife of Adam, but because of her voice and her sensuality and essentially her divine feminine power, she wasn't working out and they needed someone more submissive. And so when I heard that story, I really resonated with that character. And that's why I named my brand Lilith, so that it embodies that divine feminine power. And all of my offerings aim to invoke that within the women I'm working with. So I have an online course that's called the Academy of the Divine Feminine, and that aims to guide women to connecting with this power and taking up space and creating boundaries, which is on sale right now because of what's going on until May 22nd. It's 22% off. So if you are interested in that, go check it out. I also have a podcast where I live channel, and a lot of people have been sending in amazing questions that have really sparked some deep discussion, which has been very fun for me to explore the intuitive side of myself and give myself a platform to do that, just like you're doing here with this YouTube channel. And I have Lilith Circle, which is an online virtual women's support group, and also energetic womb healing, which can be done virtually. So it's kind of an accumulation of offerings of things that have helped me, and I've gained the confidence to serve those to other women in hopes that it helps them along their healing journey as well, under the umbrella of Lilith. Yeah.
I love that. That's gorgeous. I've seen you growing this, and your account is just so inspiring. It's not just you're not just providing the content in your classes, but you're providing your followers and the Instagram space with these beautiful inspirational quotes. Your writing is gorgeous. Like, you have such a voice to share. And so, I mean, people should definitely be going over to your podcast, because those are just even a taste of what you have to say. Then you've got a really, really empowering, amazing voice to use. And the divine feminine right now is really coming through and really waking up. And it's a very powerful energy to sustain and learn how to wield and use when it's starting to come through you as a woman. And what a poignant time to start an academy based all around that.
Definitely.
It's incredible, inspiring work that you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, and in this time of stillness that we're all in is when the divine feminine energy really can grow. And we're taught to think masculine energy, force everything, hustle, hustle, hustle. And now we're like, oh shoot, who are we when we're still? And that's where the divine feminine lives. So it is very timely, and you feel it, I feel it. It's coming to life.
Coming to life in a big way. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awake, and she is just trickling out amongst the collective, and you can see it in women, you can see it in men, because she exists in all. And it's time for us to really pay reverence to that slowdown, to that stillness, and to take care of our divine feminine. And I love that, you know, your work is with women, and obviously a man can't go womb steaming, but if there is a man watching this, or there are men watching this, it's good for them to know that this is what's happening right now. And if these feels are, you know, pulling on them as well, it's completely natural. That's
for sure.
It's a shift that's happening amongst all of us at the moment.
You're right. It's when we say divine feminine, I think it is confusing for many, because we say feminine, but yes, it's in all human beings, whether you're male or female, both the masculine and the divine energies.
Absolutely. And of course we embody it as women the most, but you know, we have the divine masculine energy coursing through our being as well. And I think it is really nice to see that we are in this place of stillness, like you're saying, because we're shown how that feminine energy can navigate and flow through this kind of, it's a stillness amongst turbulence that's happening. And that's very much so the divine feminine. It's a chaos. We're like a flowy chaos.
For sure. Like a river. There's rocks, but we're flowing around it. And it's like a global balance that's occurring, because we've been masculine for so long that it's like, I feel refreshed by what's going on. It's like a waterfall of this energy that's been waiting to show us what she's made of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. I love seeing you in this position of leadership. In a way, you've, you know, walked this path, and you found yourself, and you found this connection to the divine feminine. So you're able to then serve through her, through that energy, and create all that you're creating. And it's amazing.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Are there any other fun projects that you're working on that you want to talk about?
Something I can talk on more is the womb healing, energetic womb healing, because for me, that's where my journey with the divine feminine really started, consciously at least. And my first experience with that was in Japan, when I was suffering from this pain. I had an energetic womb healing session with an energetic womb healer. And I never knew as a woman you could connect with your womb space, you know? All I knew was like, oh, that's where babies grow, and that's it. Like, not that, oh, you can connect with this space in your body, and it holds memories, and it holds traumas, and it also holds your power. And that connection is really where my journey took off. And that's where I learned to find my voice, from connecting with this part of myself. So much so that I can offer these womb healings now as part of my services. So I would say, if you're a woman listening to this, whether you have a womb space, whether you have a womb or not, maybe you've had a hysterectomy, that space in our bodies is still so powerful. And grounding and anchoring into this kind of our second heart as women, it was life-changing for me. And if you're struggling to find your voice, if you're struggling to create boundaries, if you're struggling to live your life in a way that's aligned with you, it can really be impactful. Yeah. It's something I'm really passionate about at the moment.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm getting convinced now more and more that I should make that order and make it happen. And it's something that you can make it as like a ritual by yourself. You don't necessarily have to go anywhere for it, right? You can just do it straight at home. I'd be like going on my road trips with my womb steaming stool.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So in Japan, what does it look like right now with everything going on in the world?
Comparatively to what I'm hearing what's going on in America, it's calm here and people are taking precautions, but there's no I don't see fear or panic. So it's just really interesting to see how the different countries approach this, and I'm really enjoying how Japan is dealing with it, and we're just doing what we can, and people are taking precautions, but for the most part people are staying calm and understanding, like, this too shall pass, let's work together.
Absolutely. I think that's the mindset that we all need to take on, is that this too shall pass, and let's stick together on it. Because what I'm recognizing is, like, with the fear mentality comes a lot of like selfishness and people kind of acting like only for themselves. And there's some part of self-sovereignty that I totally believe in, but then there's also a big part of community and connection and unity that I think is really integral. And it's scary to see people being made to be afraid of each other. And it's scary to see this, like, any disconnect happening because of this, because it should really be reconnecting. It's so interesting being able to see all the perspectives around the world. I don't ever want to turn this into talking about just that, because I know that that's a very relevant subject, but I think we also need to be focusing on like the moving forward and the healing practices and all of that still. But it's a good balance to be aware, and I'm glad you're feeling a state of calmness rather than any sort of fear, and I'm trying to hold that space as well here. I just got back from Costa Rica and I'm in Texas now, so it's definitely different because I was in the jungle.
Yeah. Wow, that must be quite the adjustment.
Yeah. You know, I'm doing all the precautions and staying home and quarantining for the first 2 weeks. So I don't really know what's happening in Texas or the US yet. I just drove from the airport here. But soon come I'll find out, and I'll report back then, I guess. But I'm still trying to hold a space for this too shall pass. Right. All of that.
Yeah. And something I'm noticing, like, it's kind of great that you're in your own space in the beginning, because it allows you to see what this situation means for you. And like, I'm seeing, talking to people in America, I'm seeing people are relying on outer sources to tell them if they should be scared and to tell them when they should panic. And that just scares me the most, like giving up that power to an authority that tells us now it's time to be scared, now it's time to lock yourself away. And what I'm really encouraging people to do that I talk to is to like take the time for yourself and to get clear about, how is this affecting me and what am I actually feeling? Like, what are the truths that are arising in my body? Because that's going to tell you how to approach the situation more than anybody else.
Totally. Great advice. Great advice.
So yeah, you're doing, I know it can be, you're like, you want to peek out and be like, what's going on? But you have the space now to go inward, and you know, we learned all that stuff in yoga school.
In yoga school. Yeah, you know what? I love it. I love all of it. I love being a present observer of all my thoughts and all my feels, and then paying reverence to all the like density that does come up, because I know it's there to teach me something, and like being able to be aware of that and not like spin out like when you're still just like seeking answers and looking and not sure, and all of the energies are so intense. And I think that right now a lot of people around the globe are suffering through that, because we're being kind of forced into this inwards glance that not
Right.
a lot of people necessarily want to do, and they use
Right.
the work and the parties and all of the other things as distraction from the true journey that is part of, you know, the human condition. It is the human experience. And I just would love to see people come out of this having, you know, done the shadow boxing and then becoming friends with the shadows and unpacking all of their luggage and then helping neatly pack it back up to help it walk out the door. You know, I think that that's what this time is sort of giving us to do. And Mother Nature is getting that fresh breath of air. Not that like she necessarily needs us to help sustain her, but she is proving to us that if we just take a minute to go inside and heal internally, the stuff that's getting messed up externally will heal itself too.
For sure.
And I think that speaks really loudly about, you know, our global issues, personal issues, community issues, all of the things.
Yeah, it's all connected. And that's a great point. And it also, so that goes to show, like, if someone is feeling overwhelmed, like, I don't even know what to do because there are so many issues. Like, if you focus on the one you're called to, it's all connected. Like, if you focus on your womb space, there will be less cases of sexual assault if you're standing in our power and we are fighting for this equality, you know? So, and if you're focusing on connecting with Mother Earth, there will be less issues with climate change. And you're right, it's all connected, and what you're doing is making a difference no matter what you're doing and where you're starting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect that happens, you know, first within thyself. Like, you start to see it trickle out and affect different facets and aspects of your life. And then you build that muscle and you work on it and you do some more and you do, like, dig a little bit deeper. And then other people begin to recognize your changes. And then they kind of observe, and seeds are planted in their subconscious. And they're like, what have you been doing? I like this remedy. Maybe I'll try some of that. And so on and so forth. And then there's people like yourself and myself as well that are out here using our voice to make an even bigger wave. And I think that it's really integral and beautiful for people to start stepping into their voice, because we are all powerful creator beings. We all have the capacity to, you know, help heal ourselves and help heal our communities just by doing that inner work. So yeah, I just want to encourage you. I know I don't really need to, but just keep on shining that bright light of yours, sister.
Thank you. Aho.
Aho. Yeah, we all need it. We all need to be inspired by the powers that are within ourselves. And I think that with your work you're doing with womb steaming, especially, like, I have been saying that, you know, that is our like I don't even know if I should say this on a podcast, but whatever. I don't have a rating. There's whatever. Pussy is power. Pussy is power. I can say that. I'm going to say that. And that's also the shame that's built up around
for
it.
sure.
And I should be able to just say it, because I've been saying it. And it's so powerful. And, like, women should know that. And, like, it does mean so much more than sex. It's not about that. It's sexual energy is creation energy by nature. So both men and women have this power that they wield, and pussy is power. And we women are, you know, by and large, the creators of this universe. Like, the universe chose us to incubate the masses in our bodies, you know? And, you know, there are people who struggle and can't, and I totally pay reverence to that. But it is even in essence, to those who cannot carry a baby, still have that innate power. For sure. Still can tap into all of that. And I love that you even mentioned that, because there are women who have had hysterectomies. There are women who just have predispositions to not being able to get pregnant. And that doesn't mean that their pussy isn't powerful.
No, it's an energetic space. So whether you have the physical parts or not, it's the energy that's available to you to use it to create anything, ideas, businesses, or babies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's so like empowering. And I've been doing like some research even like on like retention too, like just being able to like, you know, enjoy your body, but hold that sexual energy in, because then you can get the download, receive the download that much faster. And maybe this is making the podcast a bit R-rated right now, but that's okay. Like, we need to be able to take care of ourselves in all of those facets, and being able to connect to yourself in that way as well is super important and super empowering. And I think that's also something that should be destigmatized as well.
Right. Because if we have the shame there, that's shielding us from even acknowledging what's the power of it, and therefore taking away our ability to respect it. So it's right. If we're going to respect this power, we have to take away the shame so we can actually see it. And that's what's happening with women and also with Mother Earth. Like, the creators are gaining their power back and respect.
Absolutely. And showing how quickly they can do so, you know, and Mother Nature's been showing us that for longer than just the coronavirus. You know, we've had the Australia fires, and we've had a bunch of different like crazy natural disasters going on around the world. Just as a showcase of Mother Nature being like, hello, wake up. Like, this is how easily, like, I lived in Hawaii for a while, and there was a huge volcanic eruption that left like one of my houses that I lived in completely gone. Like, half of that neighborhood gone. Like, created new land though, you know, and with destruction comes creation. And that's what I keep grounding back into right now, because I see the destruction, I feel that pain, I know what's happening in the collective, I feel the collective sphere, I do, but I also have such hope, and I'm so excited for the light at the end of the tunnel.
Amazing. It's believing, it's feeling the suffering and believing in the duality, which is the hope, and that's so beautiful and so important. She can rebuild. She just wants us to make it easier for her to start rebuilding.
And sometimes we have to, you know, deconstruct everything, destruct everything to learn to build anew, you know, like computer technicians, they have to learn how to completely like disable a computer, take apart every single bit and bob. I don't have the technical terms because that's not what I use, not in my wheelhouse.
Bit and bob works.
The bit and bobs, you know, technical stuff. But then they have to learn how to put it back together to make the computer run faster, to learn what the glitches were previously. And that's essentially what we've all done as humanity and as a planet. And not to go deeply conspiracy theory, but this all has been prophesized for many years. And, you know, I say not to get deeply with the conspiracy theory because certain channels are...
It's critical thinking, not conspiracy.
It's critical thinking. Well, you know, I'm just saying those words because that's what people are calling it, but it's... It's prophesized. It's been written about. Where does that come from? And then when it comes true and someone says that it's not, I don't understand that. Also, what's great is I have an editor, so if there's trigger words in this, I can just get it taken out.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, no, stand in your power. Don't like their ideas. But we're taught to say conspiracy because it takes a little bit of the weight off. Like, people might think you're joking if you say conspiracy, so it's okay, you know?
Okay, yeah, no, I feel you. I thought I'm just going off of all the censorship that's going on in the world right now.
I see.
I think that they're like perusing for these words so that they can like take anything that's making you think in a more open-minded way off of the internet.
For sure.
YouTube
can't,
It's really scary.
Yeah. There's definitely a higher agenda to what's going on. And that's why I say, especially to listen to your body and your truth. And don't let anyone else tell you what to be scared of and how to approach the situation. Because our bodies don't lie.
Absolutely. I believe that. I mean, look, I was in Costa Rica, in one of the safest countries to be in at this present moment, literally in the world, one of the safest countries. And I all of a sudden started to get magnetized back to the States, one of the countries that's getting hit the hardest. Wow. And I was like, what an interesting dynamic to come up. Like, yeah. But it was this pull, and I was like, I have to listen to this, because all of a sudden the safest place felt wrong and I couldn't be there anymore. And I'm here, I'm still learning, I'm still integrating, I'm still figuring out why I'm here, but I'm the most grounded and centered and clear that I've been in the past couple months. You know, I've been able to do my work and able to perceive this life that I would just be out in the jungle for 6 months, a year, whatever it may take for things to pass over. And then it just jolted, and it was not there, and I didn't feel any stillness. And now I'm back. I'm setting into it. It never felt still for me, even in the jungle.
Interesting.
So it is super interesting. And now that I've listened to that call with my body, like, I'm finally grounded, finally rooted in where I need to be. And I don't know if I need to like stand in integrity with everyone back at home to know what everyone's experiencing, because I was not experiencing what anyone was, but we'll find out why.
Yeah, that's great. You listened to your body and what you needed, and exactly, you trusted it, and it's going to unfold, and you'll get to see why.
Totally. Totally, sister. Well, I had such a good time catching up with you, my dear.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I hope I get to see you again somewhere in this world soon. Maybe I'll come visit Japan.
Yeah, I'm sure our paths will cross at some point. We both move quite a bit.
Yeah, we do. So do we have a website that we can visit you at?
At thelilithbrand.com. You can find me online, and at the Lilith Brand on Instagram, or you can direct email me at olivia@thelilithbrand.com. All the Lilith Brand things.
All the Lilith Brand things. Thank you, my angel. I have so much love for you. I appreciate you taking the time. Have a wonderful day in Japan.
Thank you for creating this platform. You're doing great things. I love watching it.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Love you.
Yeah. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
You too. Bye.